ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Tropic Thunder. But of course, before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, folks? I'm Nathaniel. I was not there. This is just, the movie Tropic Thunder set in Vietnam, and it's about a movie being made in Vietnam or about the Vietnam War, and so that ties in with my name. So, yeah. Hi, I'm here.
Hello, welcome back. Did you just get back from Nam? Is that what's going on?
No, never been actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Like I said before, it's because of the movie that we watched. That's why you tied it in for us. I personally have no.
Well, I know the movie is set in Nam, but I thought you were a big Vietnam fan.
Of the people and the culture, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Of the wonderful country of Vietnam, yes,
right, of course.
Of the Vietnam War, probably less so. I would say.
Oh, that's what you thought I was referencing. No, of course.
Yeah,
we do not support
conflict.
the Vietnam War on this podcast. I don't think we support many wars on this podcast. War is bad, people.
Maybe food wars.
No, that sounds.
Wait, food fights different than food wars.
Food wars. That's in the future, Nathaniel, in the near future. Where
isn't food wars an anime?
It is. It is an anime as well too. It also reminded me of Mad Max: The Water Wars. But anyways,
Furiosa also in the near future.
Furiosa's better than Doo. Anyways, continue.
Whoa.
Also joining us today, TiVo Tyler Verdalis.
Not Tugger Nuts.
What is TiVo? Is this another thing I just don't?
Whoa!
What TiVo is?
Oh,
I had to look it up. I'm kind of confused.
Oh my god!
So all right. So before everyone had a DVR, TiVo was the only one in the game with a DVR function, basically. So you would pay for a box separate from a cable box, and then I believe it was functioned off like a card system, and I think it was satellite technically, wasn't it, Ty?
Yes, yeah.
But it was the first one that gave you the ability to pause, record, go back, that kind of thing on live TV.
Got it. They had like 60-hour boxes, 80-hour boxes, 100-hour boxes, and. Yeah, you just paid for the storage, and then you could record it, actually go back and watch it whenever you wanted to watch it.
Right.
So it was like
TiVo
the
sounds
Godfather.
like the shit.
Yeah, it was like the Godfather of that whole
for
thing.
a hot minute. TiVo was like a huge status symbol and like a big thing for.
Now, put me in 2008. I don't think that's as big of a deal anymore, right? If I remember correctly, 2008 video on demand, pretty common at that point, right? If I remember back to that year.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
because I remember recording stuff on TV all the time growing up, but I just don't remember at what point that started. Like maybe it didn't hit until I was 10, 11.
I don't know if it's 08 where you're on there. Like may have had, Xfinity may have had that little main page where you could maybe get a few things in 08, but I don't think so.
It was 2011 for me. Was the first time I remember our family having it was when we moved to Illinois after I graduated high school. So it would have been 2011 that we first got a cable package with where we could record stuff and have things on demand and that kind of thing.
I mean 2008, 2009 is that's when I'm graduating high school, and I don't particularly remember anybody really recording a ton of stuff.
Yeah, any of us in high school, we would pirate it off the internet, but then everyone else you were still recording.
On LimeWire.
Yeah, you were recording to a VHS or a DVD.
Yeah.
I do remember.
Off the air, baby.
I do remember we used to record some things on VHS. I had
so many tapes of movies. I have those Disney Channel original movies. The only reason I remember them is because we had tapes of them.
Right. That was appointment viewing back in the day. You had to be there.
Hell yeah, bro.
When that thing aired,
Phantom of the Multiplex.
Now it's just on Disney Plus. There's no event viewing. I did see a tweet the other day that I agreed with and thought was funny. That life is better when there's a HBO show every Sunday that people talk about on Monday, and and the government should be responsible for funding that show at this point, because we do need that. That is a big thing I miss about I remember like The Walking Dead. In middle school was huge. Like every Sunday night, you'd come on Monday. I was talking with my buddy Max. Like we would, and I was in the 6th grade, so like not a ton of people watched it. So it was like, yeah, Max White. Every he was in my little homeroom. I forgot what they called it in middle school.
What up, Noah?
But, shout out Noah,
the OG Noah,
the real OG Noah Saffer. Yeah, shout out Noah Saffer. Shout out Noah Adams. And shout out Noah
Max. Noah Max. New Noah that we just learned about.
No, Noah Max. Okay. Sure. But yeah, Walking Dead. I wasn't there for Prime Game of Thrones, but I remember the last 2 seasons. That was a big deal.
It would have been Breaking Bad back in the day. That was a big one.
Watching a movie, appointment viewing Sunday night, and being able to go the next day to whatever your place of, gathering is, whether that be work or school. And being able to, everyone's talking about it like that. That is I miss that. We don't have that anymore.
Let me introduce you to a lovely country called Britain, where they have the BBC, which is funded by the people through the government.
Yeah.
Is that really by the government?
We got PBS.
Yeah, it's their tax. So like the people pay a fee for to use the TV, but that goes to their news and to their
amazing.
Into the funding movies and their channel. Yeah, the British Broadcasting Corporation.
Imagine they got tax allocation down, right?
I was gonna say, imagine seeing the benefits of your
tax dollars go in America.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, right.
That pothole a block
someone's
street is
someone's fucking pocket.
Yep. So yeah, if you want appointment television, move to Britain, I guess.
I think I'm just gonna tune in from here. Can I adjust my TV antennas and get BBC? Is it broadcast that?
Pirate radio, baby.
Can I Starlink it? Can I point my antennas at the
Acorn?
sky? And
is that what it is? The British or BritBox, the streaming service that you can get?
I have no idea. I've got a VPN.
That'll work.
That. Yeah.
BBC iPlayer.
There you go. I watch all those. Is Louis Theroux? Is that his name?
Legitimately, when I moved back here, that's how I would get my Louis Theroux documentaries. Was I would put on a VPN and go to the BBC and watch them that way because they're free.
Yeah, love that. And rounding out the squadron today, of course, as usual. Actually, as always, it's Big Booty Sweat BlakeHolder.
What up, fellas? What up?
Would you rather be booty sweat or bust a nut? Let's talk.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was a tough decision. I think Adam went with
I love that booty sweat.
What a product.
I've been ass soaping.
What's crazy is that in 2025, if Jake Paul came out with booty sweat tomorrow, no one would blink an eye. No one would blink a fucking eye.
Yeah.
True.
If I heard that Soulja Boy had Bust a Nut energy drinks next week, not surprised. I would just be happy to hear that they're peanut allergy free or something.
Do you guys remember when Soulja Boy tried peddling game consoles?
Yeah, he had the Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
I do off of Alibaba or
You want to go down a crazier rabbit hole? Look all of the crazy stuff that Will.i.am has funded over the years and tried to get off the ground.
I have heard of some of that.
It's crazy. There's clips of him on Top Gear. Shout out BBC. Talking about a car that he was gonna make or whatever. It's a good time as well too.
Then Elon Musk just stole his thunder, huh?
That's true, actually. If you're going to be an embarrassing person on stuff that you're venture funding, it's definitely Elon Musk. Without a doubt, no number one with a bullet. That guy can do no wrong in that. He's the Michael Jordan of funding stupid shit.
Oh, for sure.
is somehow making a profit. I guess. I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I
America's
do hate
not the
Tesla.
brightest, fellas. As we know.
Yeah.
All right, back to the movie. Comedy, fun times. Here we go.
Yeah, sorry to suck the air out of the pod. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. We're almost through January. This has been a long month.
Everyone has seen this, right?
No.
You haven't seen
I
this?
figured Adam would be the only person.
First watch for me. But before we get into all that, let me introduce
Oh my God,
let me introduce the main review segment here. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
What up, folks? Well, if you're new, or perhaps if you've forgotten, the way the rundown segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into two sections. Rundown is split into two sections. Excuse me. I gave
doubling down. You know what? I go for it. I love it. Don't even backtrack.
The review segment, the review rundown. There we go. The review rundown. Split into two sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the IMDb page, who wrote it, who's in it, who directed it, all of that good stuff. We'll go around the quadrant and listen to the IMDb summary, say if we would recommend this movie, yes or no. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. And from then on, it'll be spoiler time. If you want to have any, or if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, go ahead and skip forward and check in our show notes for our non-spoiler times. And come back and see where we rank it on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast, ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Tropic Thunder.
I would love to. This is not a new movie, released in the year 2008. It's rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes and an IMDb rating of 7.1 out of 10. It is directed by Mr. Ben Stiller, who we all know. Don't know if we all love.
So that's why
we haven't had a lot of Ben Stiller on this pod.
That's why we're doing this movie. Season 2 of Severance just dropped, so synergy. People are Googling Ben Stiller, SEO.
Dude, that's
Tropic
actually
Thunder,
bro.
I think this is actually our first
intent.
Ben Stiller film on here, though. Is it like not directing, of course, but like even acting? Do we even have Ben Stiller on here?
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, other than like maybe a cameo. But like, is he in any of the other comedies we've done?
That's what I would thought too.
I don't think so.
Is he in?
I immediately was like, oh, Happy Gilmore. And then I was like, nope, we didn't do Happy Gilmore. And then it's like, oh, Anchorman. No, we haven't done Anchorman.
Yeah.
No, we haven't done Dodgeball. We haven't done any of those things.
Fucking
Have we been missing out on comedies, guys? Is 2025 the year of the comedy for Back Row Banter?
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody.
I've heard Ben Stiller kind of an asshole.
Whatever, he's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at his credits on Letterboxd, and fellas, I think we can confidently confirm this is the first Ben Stiller film on here.
All right,
crazy.
So welcome to the pod, Ben Stiller.
That is kind of crazy. It took a while.
What about Scorcher?
Here we go again. Again.
Directed by Ben Stiller. Got a lot of writing credits here. We have a screenplay by Justin Theroux, Ben Stiller, and is it Ethan Cohen?
Justin Theroux, Louis Theroux's cousin.
Is it Theroux? What is it? It's
just
T-H-E.
No. It's just funny because he's not typically he's typically a dramatic actor. Like he's in The Leftovers.
Oh, I see.
Like he's
Right.
Sorry, I guess. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh no, you're good. I was confused by your pod. I was like, did I say something wrong? Like,
No,
I'm pretty sure that's
it was just I was surprised to hear his name. That was all it was.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, you scared me for a sec. The story though is by Ben Stiller and Justin Theroux. This is why is this? Is this an order of appearance?
Maybe.
No idea.
No, it can't be. All right, I'll pick them out as we go, but this is a very
because
odd
you have all the
for...
you have all the commercials first. You have all the trailers before the movie.
Yeah, but the first credit is Jeff Kahn, who plays a snooty waiter in the Fatties trailer. So like I'm just confused because that's not the first trailer. So I like that's just I'll have to pick them out as we go, I guess. Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, Ben Stiller, of course. What's the guy who's also in This Is the End?
Tom Cruise.
Danny McBride.
Well, no, neither of those. Well, yes to that, but Tom Cruise, Danny McBride, of course. But no, he's the main character. He's like the best friend in.
Oh, Jay Baruchel.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
How to Train Your Dragon. Hiccup.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey.
Bill Hader.
I think that's like the main cast.
Brandon T. Jackson is Al Pacino.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Robert Downey.
That's pretty much the main cast, right? Because even looking here, then you just get into all the side folks from commercials.
Right. And there are some small features here and there.
Lots of
cameos.
cameos.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, lots of cameos. One of those movies for sure.
Nick Nolte as Two Leaf.
Nick Nolte. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we can leave it all there. The IMDb summary reads as follows. Through a series of freak occurrences, a group of actors shooting a big budget war movie are forced to become the soldiers they are portraying.
It's not great, is it?
No, that's like not really what the movie's about necessarily. I like that it doesn't like, I don't know, it's a comedy, so like spoiling things isn't as big of a deal, but not a ton. Yeah, not a great summary. It's a comedy, obviously. It's a pretty well-known movie overall, I would say. And yes, things do go awry. It's actors not realizing that they're not acting anymore in a war movie. But it's got a lot of other things going on. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, they're out there. They're making a Platoon or a Apocalypse Now style Vietnam movie.
Sure, there you go. Full Metal Jacket kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But the guy who the story is based on convinces the director to send the actors out to the real jungle and try and get a real reaction to them. But things do not go great for the boys. And
no, they do not.
It goes from there.
Yeah. So as we mentioned previously, my first watch all the way through. Obviously, I know of this movie. I know clips from this movie. I know lines from this movie. But I've never really sat down and watched it all the way through. I was 8 years old when this came out for obvious reasons. Wasn't seeing it when it came out. And I just never really got around to it. But this is like, talk about a Big Brother movie. Like, this is one that I can quote without having seen it, just because my brothers like would not stop talking about this movie when I was younger, because they were, if I was 8, my brothers would have been like 14-ish, 14 and 13, 15, 13, somewhere in that age range. So yeah, this is like right up their alley. And I just remember this being talked about a lot when I was younger. Kind of a movie that got forgotten for a little bit, I would say, like not talked about as much, but it's definitely kind of talked about more in the last couple of years, I feel like. I don't know. But it's definitely got its staying power.
There's one big reason people talk about it now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple. But it's just definitely a big reason. Obviously that being Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface.
As satire.
Important context.
Yeah, good
there.
cleanup on that. Yeah.
I remember hearing, I forgot where I heard this, but someone was like, Tropic Thunder, like it was the Indiana Jones like sliding under the closing rock wall of like when you could get away with this. Like they really like snuck it in at the buzzer. Sure. Like you really can't do this any later than 2008 and get away with it fully.
100%.
And it is funny to think back on, and definitely not something you could really get away with today. Yeah, as a first watch here though, this movie is really fucking funny, man. this movie's really good. It feels like it holds up better than I expected, because obviously there's like the controversy that I knew about and have heard about in this movie, but it's like, you know, there's definitely a few things that like I'm like, all right, well, I wouldn't want this made today or like have done this today, but it's not like overly offensive, and obviously it is satire at the end of the day, and it's pretty well done for the most part.
It's a smart movie. Like,
yeah, it's very smart. It's very, very smart, and it's like the commentary that they're doing and the way it's gone about it, like it's both funny, it's the perfect satire. It's funny, but it's also kind of like poking fun at the issues that it's having within itself. So it is very well done. It is very funny. It's funny seeing all of these actors together, because it's not a cast that like you'd really expect to kind of assemble for a comedy movie of this type. So it is nice seeing all these guys together. Up and down, the cast is funny. Tom Cruise totally forgot he was in this movie and didn't even really realize it until halfway through. And I forgot what made me realize that it was Tom Cruise. I don't know if my dad said something or what, but I was like, oh my God. Because as soon as I realized it made that character 100 times funnier.
Wait,
and to the point where like he might be the best part of the movie.
You say Papa Schwartz watched this with you?
He did.
Is this his first time too?
No, I don't believe so. I think.
Okay.
But he was excited to watch it because he did like this movie, I think, when it came out, and then still likes it. And I didn't really get to talk too much about it once we finished it, but we were both having a good time watching it, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's funny, and I don't think this is a movie that should be like shunned for or be canceled for any means, because it's kind of talking about the issues
the weird thing about it is people don't like it. Just genuinely has like this good vibe about it, and
right.
Yeah, if you've only ever seen bits of Tropic Thunder on TikTok, you need to watch Tropic Thunder. Actually.
Right. Yeah. You could obviously clip this movie out, and it's going to look a lot worse than what it is as a whole, as most things are when you clip them out, I would say. But yeah, this is definitely this is definitely one that deserves a full watch. And like, in terms of the offensive stuff, it's like it's offensive, but obviously, like we said, it's intentional. It's satire, and it's a good satire at that.
Satan Zowie.
I'm a recommend.
Bad boy, father.
Yeah, I think I'll go second. This is one I didn't see this in theaters in real time. Obviously, I think I was a tad too young. Well, yeah, because it is R, so a tad too young. In 2007, I would have been 12. This is definitely one I caught. I would want to say probably like 2009. It's like my freshman year of high school, right? It's freshman, sophomore year of high school, and has been absolutely hilarious, like from the moment I've seen. Like this is one I've seen like gathering with friends in high school and just like watching it countless times.
For sure.
Obviously it's got the it has, to Adam's point, right, there are some terms and some subjects of this movie that you would not be able to do successfully in 2020s at all, right? Let alone the 2010s. But they play it so well, and it's I think the satire hits even harder because like they're characters filming a movie. And you got Robert Downey Jr., who's like a guy playing a guy who's playing another guy. You know what I mean?
So like playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah. So it's
probably the most quotable line from this movie, or at least the most well-known line.
I know who I am.
No, I
it's
wouldn't
the
say
full.
that.
It's the black scent too for the Robert Downey Jr. thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, when he
Robert Downey Jr. This is awesome. I would argue with Adam though. I don't know if that I'm a dude who's disguised as a dude playing another dude. I don't know if that line is the most quotable line from this. I think it actually, unfortunately, is the you never go full
redacted.
You know, that probably is quotable because that's now even been layered to, even if you don't use that word, you can just use any other word, right?
Yeah.
Like you never go full crazy, you never go full idiot, you never, you know what I mean? You can just put anything on the back of it. Yeah. So but yeah, we'll deep dive into it. I've seen this countless times. One of my favorite comedies of all time, probably up there with like Superbad immediately off the top of my head. Surprising this is Adam's actually first view, but I guess I can see with context and kind of the age gap and discrepancy on there. But we'll deep dive it. But yeah, overall holds well. The saving grace and rewatchability of this film, as I keep echoing though, is that they are filming a film, so it's like the satire of cinema, right, and things of that nature. So that's my take. Tyler?
Yeah, man, this is, just kind of become the quintessential dudes hanging out movie, and it's actually been played at pretty much every single bachelor party.
I was gonna say, I think it was your bachelor party.
That's actually pretty funny.
Was the last time I watched this.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter if anybody's like in the house or doing whatever. It's just on. It's like 24 hours of Christmas Story. It's like 24 hours of Tropic Thunder. At least one day, it's just on repeat
for sure.
But yeah, dude, super quotable. I love that everybody is so involved and wanting to impact like when they're on screen. Like
committed. Yeah, they're all committed.
Everybody wants to be there. It's just really great. And it's gonna be one of those ones that is probably gonna be timeless, dude. It's aged pretty well. It's gonna continue to age well, and yeah, it's just funnier than shit. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to jump in, I guess, too. But it is like a movie that like you don't get as much anymore, where it feels like it's just a bunch of guys, a bunch of their friends hanging out and like making a movie. Like I feel like This Is the End is the last one of these that I remember seeing. But like since then, I don't feel like we've gotten this like all of the comedy friends make a movie together kind of thing.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of recently is a lot of comedians have been doing kind of like their own movies, and then maybe not putting them like out on Streamline stuff like Ricky Stenicki. That was like
that was on Amazon, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was a few comedians that got together and did a movie together. And then Stavros, he's a comedian. He just did a movie with, it's literally, he's one of the writers, directors, actors. It's just him and a bunch of his comedian buddies. I think it's called it's called Let's Make a Cult. And it's supposed to be absolutely hilarious. I haven't watched it. I want to watch it, but yeah, I think you get just more like comedians breaking off and doing movies now versus like having a bunch of big actors do a comedy.
Sure. Anyway, sorry. Sidetrack. Go back to what you were saying.
No, it's gonna get repeated, betwixt the four of us. And yeah, dude, just I was in my senior year of high school, so I've seen this probably the most. It does obviously get put on, even when you are just hanging with the guys. It doesn't have to be a bachelor party, but can't say enough good things about this movie. And yeah, it's just genuinely a time capsule for me. So
yeah, I'll round us out here. This is one.
Wrap us up, dude.
Yeah, man. This is one I don't think I saw in theaters either. It was definitely like a bros hangout, sleepover night movie for sure. Yeah. But that being said, I think it's really interesting. I remember it doing well at the time, both commercially and critically. Like a lot of people did really like this movie when it came out as well too.
For sure.
In comparison to, I feel like Step Brothers, like I feel like has gained in estimation over time. Like I feel like people liked that movie, like like kids in our generation liked that movie, but I remember like critics did not like that one at all when it came out. Same with like I think Ricky Bobby, a lot of like the Will Ferrell joints and that kind of thing didn't do great critically at the time. I remember this one specifically also doing well, and I think it was this and Sherlock Holmes that like maybe came out the same year, and like and Downey Jr. like took home on like a Golden Globe that year or something like that. Like I'm pretty sure he was nominated for his performance in this, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know that.
But yeah, it's insane. And I feel like it's a movie that somewhat holds together now, because it's a movie that is Ben Stiller at the time going like, hey, you might think celebrities like have this shit together, but they're all fucking crazy. And like now we have social media that tells us that already. And like if you're paying attention, they'll just tell you that for free. And like I think like this movie is like the reason it still hits today is that there's something a little bit recognizable about that as well too. And like I think Ben Stiller at the time was said like he was inspired to make this movie because of actors coming off of war movies and saying like and acting like they'd been to actual war. And like saying like, oh, we like went to this like boot camp thing and like it's what the soldiers do. And so like we're kind of basically soldiers at this point now too. And he was like, no, you're fucking not. Like you're someone who has played it, and i.e. now you have Tropic Thunder. But I think that kind of feeling of like this notion of celebrity and like a celebrity can fully believe that they're in something, but part of them being a celebrity is our ability to say like, nah, fuck you, you're just kind of cringe and a tool and that kind of thing too. And I think this movie kind of delves into that about 3 years before all of that really starts to take off in a different direction in some ways. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's hilarious. It's so funny at pulling in different people in the cast. This is one of the first times I remember seeing Danny McBride and just being like, oh no, this is going to be like one of the funniest dudes on the planet for the next like 8 to 10 years. He's amazing in this. I think Steve Coogan is underrated in this as well too as the director.
For sure.
I think he does a great job selling it on there as well for his time together, and understands that violence is slapstick, that like violence is comedy in a lot of ways too, and you can be really gory and really funny as well. Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. Love Tropic Thunder. Will watch again.
Absolute recommend for me.
Same here. I think Blake as well. Recommends all around, fellas. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That means we're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen Tropic Thunder and don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead, check the episode description. We've left a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie up on our Entropy list.
Up on.
All right, spoiler time. Nathaniel.
Spoilers.
I just want to say, before TiVo Ty was TiVo Ty, he was almost G5 Ty, and I thought that was kind of funny, but I went for the alliteration instead.
I am surprised it's not Tugger Nuts Ty. That is my
Rum Tum Tugger Nuts.
There's a lot of good options for everybody except like Nathaniel. I couldn't think of an N very easily.
No, it's okay.
We gotta get you back on those monkey bars.
Tugger
you said
nuts.
no TiVo?
I got your TiVo. Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey
was this
hilarious.
Was this the start of the McConaissance? Was this?
It might have been.
I feel like it could have been. This could have been the thing that kicked it off.
I was thinking about this. I was like, this came out like 2008. He was filming it probably late 06, 07.
6 years after Reign of Fire, his other great performance.
I was doing the math. Yeah. But I'm like, this is only a couple years before Interstellar. I'm like, he did this, and then Interstellar started filming that 2 years after this came out. I'm like, that jump is like, I can't wrap my head around it. But oh man, McConaughey is just the best. But Tom Cruise in this also just killing it. Yeah. I don't think I've ever his comedy chops are up there, just proven once again he's
king of movies.
The king. Yeah, he truly is. Kind of funny that he's in this, considering he's also kind of a weirdo behind the scenes, Scientology kind of thing going on. Can't kiss a woman on screen and all that. But
last time he did, he killed her.
What?
In The Mummy. Spoiler alert for The Mummy 2011. He kisses a woman to death. It's like it's the last time he's kissed a woman on screen.
Okay.
Is that the 2011 Mummy? Am I missing something? Or is that Tom Cruise one way more recent than that?
Oh yeah, it's 2017. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay, I was gonna say
my mind's way back in 2011. Sorry.
Why did he do that?
Why not?
I think
yeah.
genuinely, I was excited for that movie when it came out at the time. Then I realized who made it, and I was less excited.
Yeah, that's when they were going back and trying to get a lot of those like old,
the Dark Universe,
super old IPs. Yeah, between like that, the Invisible Man, the Mummy.
No, Invisible Man came out way later. Invisible Man came out after they were like, "Oh shit, we fucked up." And then they,
sure. And ironically, that was the best one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%. Which is why
that's a good movie.
They gave Lee Winnell Wolfman, and apparently that is not doing well. Anyways, back to Tropic Thunder. Sorry for that little aside, boys.
Adam, what was your favorite trailer?
Oh, from the start?
Yeah.
Machete.
I don't know. It's hard to remember all of them. It was
there was
the Robert
Sweat,
Downey,
which is more of like a
right. Didn't like Booty Sweat that much, and that was really fast. The farting Jack Black one wasn't a fan of. The what is Ben Stiller's movie called?
Scorcher.
Scorch was good. And what was the other one? There was the highlight.
Satan's Alley.
I don't know if it was. What did you say?
Satan's Alley. The Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yes. That was my favorite. Sorry, that was my favorite. The Tobey Maguire. And it actually being Tobey Maguire, and this also being like prime Tobey Maguire with Spider-Man coming out at the same time as this. Hilarious. Satan's Alley, dude. I couldn't get over it.
I think like
by far the best.
Had maybe like won like the Oscar or whatever like the year before or something too. Like it was definitely of the era.
For sure. That was by far and away the best trailer.
I love when they're right after that you kind of get the big scene and then you get the call between Ben Stiller and Matthew McConaughey for the first time, and they're like it's showing up on like the news on like everybody's like failures and like who's in this movie and everything like that, and he's doing like the Tyra Banks interview and everything like that. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be absolutely insane. And then you also get like the clip from Jack Black, and he's like, a lot of people saying farts aren't funny. Oh, fuck you! You can't do what I do. And then like falls over, throwing his beer at the camera.
Dude, Jack Black in this movie, I feel like is the forgotten hero.
Dude,
and he's so funny, and he's so animated.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like him in this movie.
That's
He's the only. I know,
Wait,
and I love
Jack
Black.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I love Jack Black in almost everything I see him in. He's one of my favorite like comedian and actors. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just his character in this movie. It was just not none of his stuff really landed for me. I couldn't point to why. It just wasn't hitting.
I don't blame you because I had the exact same reaction the first time I watched it. But I'm telling you, on like the fifth time, he will be the funniest character in the movie.
And you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait for that fifth viewing because I love Jack Black. I'm sure it's gonna be great. But I was not loving him.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. If I can jump in here real quick, because I traditionally am not the biggest fan of Jack Black. So like I kind of feel that way throughout this whole movie, every time I watch it. But I'm also got to give the context. I'm not the biggest Jack Black fan per se. So like he's just not one of my favorite characters when I watch it. Granted, there's a ton of characters to pull from, so it's not a slight to him, right? But I think I'd agree with Adam on that.
Yeah, understandable for sure, especially after seeing like the farts thing in the beginning. Some people really genuinely just don't think farts are funny. So,
but it's such a good good. I don't know, maybe, but it's like it's the Nutty Professor, but the Jack Black.
I was
version.
Gonna say, it's for sure that era too, of people playing multiple characters on screen at the same time.
Which actually, I am surprised they don't have Eddie Murphy in this movie in some role. Actually, feels like a missed opportunity. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, like where else would you have Eddie Murphy though? I mean, he would have to be the Brandon Jackson character, right? I mean, like
I don't know. I guess it'd be like just an addition. I wasn't thinking like swap someone else for him. I feel like he'd be an easy addition kind of thing. Sorry, I wasn't trying to say we needed to pull in someone else or we needed to delete someone else for Eddie Murphy.
I got you.
I was just saying that like of the time in as many big name comedians as they are, maybe he feels like a different choice. But maybe it would be like now more that he would. I don't know.
Yeah,
my bad. Sorry, didn't mean to create just
no worries.
10 seconds of dead air there.
No, you're good. The opening where Ben Stiller gets shot like 40 plus times,
dude.
and he's like, awesome. I'm gonna save him still. We're like, and then like then we're like, where are we right now?
That's such a good opening.
Cover me. It's also like shot really well though. Like it's like other than like the cheesiness of it, it's like the cool action shots. The helicopters look sick. Jack Black flipping out of the helicopter is cool. Like it's really well shot. It's
Jay's
just hilarious.
Guts are fucking hanging out of him.
yeah. I could put it back in.
The dude before who's on comms is he gets shot in the head, and you just hear the ping, and then it just starts fountaining everywhere.
It won't stop gushing blood.
He's trying to like put his finger over it. Like, what are you doing? Like the dude's dead.
What does he say to I forgot his name again. What's the other guy? Huh?
Jay, the younger kid.
Jay
yeah. What he turns and says something to him. He's like, "You better get on that radio and call." Yeah, I don't forgot what his line is exactly, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's like a Brooklyn kind of accent that he goes for when he's
when he's
saying his things, and yeah, when he's in character.
Don't drop character to the DVD commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, he says something along the lines of like, you gotta boom boom now, or something like that, and then he like tells him to get on, and then he's just like, he turns, and then the guy's running at him with the bayonet, and all he yells is, "What the fuck?"
I always remember the Robert Downey Jr. picking up the fake hands that are just like confetti, kind of like
they're blown out.
Yeah, and just sobbing and the spit flying out.
The drool, yeah, dude, insane.
So good. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. in this, man. Blake, you want to talk about it?
The Robert Downey Jr.
Sorry, I should give context to that little joke because we had a little bit in our group chat earlier this week of who was going to talk about the blackface.
We are unqualified for this.
Yeah. No, but he is funny in this.
Yeah, man, this is always been funny, right? And at the time, or to be transparent, I guess at the time you don't really understand the severity of it, right? When I first watched this at age 14 or whatever, maybe, right?
Right.
But then as you get older, I mean, you come to terms it's done so well, as I said earlier, because it's not Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, right?
Right.
It's Robert Downey Jr. cast as a I think Australian character. Funny enough,
Kirk Lazarus.
Thank you. Yeah, Kirk Lazarus, an Australian character who's cast to be a black person who's wearing blackface.
Yeah.
It's like it's like written in gold of like how they could already back their way out of it.
100%.
If that makes sense, right? And that's so genius of them to even write it that way, because that's what makes it like dummy proof, for lack of a better term, and that's what makes it funny. And then you dig into that. They even have a real black character in there who like calls him out on
right.
it.
Yeah. Right. That's the best part about it.
Well, you're actually only playing a black character. You're actually
and he keeps saying our people.
What do you mean?
He's mad about it. It's hilarious.
What do you mean our people is one of the best lines of the movie.
You people.
Yeah, that word's been holding us down.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, we're going here.
It's 400 years.
That's the intro song to the Jeffersons.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I said, because and they have the two built-in like firewalls, for lack of a better term, of like the character playing a character who's in blackface, and then the actual black character in there who's also aware that it is a character in blackface. Right. That like makes the audience acceptable.
But yeah, it's also like you don't feel malice, I guess, at any point. about it either. Like you as the audience member, you're like, no, I know why this is happening, and it is for comedy purposes, kind of thing. And I'm aware with where we are in it, and the social contract is fine, kind of thing.
Right. Well, the whole reason for it is pointing out how inappropriate it is. Like that's the whole
exactly.
You know, it's like it's not blackface done seriously where they actually thought Robert Downey Jr. could play a black person. No, it's like no actor should ever feel like they are qualified to do this. Like this should never be okay.
And
and that's the joke.
The irony of the never go full redacted, it like put up against. But no, this is fine. Like
absolutely to have that be like that's a great point. Yeah, to have that be the other half of that, of like the other thing that's definitely not okay to like include in a movie today, or like would be included in a movie today. And you're right, to have that irony and like the self-awareness not be there, and then also just like how those comparing those two things kind of it all
there's
like you said at the top, it's just very smart satire. Like that's just very well done. Wow.
For sure, Ben Stiller is a genius, right? For kind of putting it in that way. And there's actually some funny clips you can find online of RDJ and various podcasts and forms of media, like talking about this film and like how it couldn't be filmed now, and how he was playing a character in blackface, right? And he was like, at first, like I'm not gonna lie, I was scared as fuck. It's like
as you should be,
as you
right. And then he's like, I think he said he ended up talking to I don't know if it was either his wife, we'll say partner.
I think it was his mom.
Or his mom,
I remember hearing his mom. I could be wrong, but I remember, I know, because I think I know the clip you're talking about.
Yeah, and it kind of details. Mom was like, well, like, actually, I mean, it's funny. I think they're doing it the right way, right? Yeah. And yeah, it's all, they end up landing a home run here. So it is, it's good. Like I said, it leans into how obnoxious and like how insane this even looks, right? They're aware of that, and it's very self-aware, which makes it for good comedy. And as we know, like you do have to push the boundaries of political correctness, if that's the phrase I'm looking for, in a comedy, like for it to like really be funny and for it to be long lasting. Right.
And that's, part of comedy's role in society too. It's like, the things that make us uncomfortable. Like if we can joke about it, it's an easier way to talk about this kind of stuff. And to show why something like blackface isn't okay, making a joke about it in this kind of way in this movie, it helps you kind of understand why it's not okay to somebody who, for whatever reason, in 2008 might not have, or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely important.
So let's pivot now, boys, into the Asian stereotypes in this movie. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I don't think we have anyone qualified for that. I was like, we got to phone a friend.
But to be said, the plot of this movie is insane as well too. Like, I mean, rewatching it now, it's like I watch it because I'm like, oh, this part's coming up and this bit is coming up and this actor is coming up and I'm looking forward to that. But I'm excited to hear from Adam, who's the first time watcher, how you felt about like the actual overall structure of this thing, because I think it is one of the smart things about this movie as well too, and where it does succeed in some ways.
It does surprise you. It does keep like you. I don't think I ended like I would never have guessed the plot goes the way it does necessarily. Up until the very end, because when they reintroduce Danny McBride and Four Leaf back into the fold and they get captured and stuff like that, and then obviously the leader of the village being like an 11-year-old is great, a great little bit.
Flaming Dragon,
wild that they name that's his name. But it definitely wasn't like. I wasn't expecting that part of it towards the latter half. I mean, maybe I should have, and especially mixing in the Matthew McConaughey and Tom Cruise characters as like a B plot kind of is perfect to kind of just shake it up, and so we're not in the jungle the whole time, and we get some more kind of self-awareness through the Hollywood bits of like looking at the studio side of things and the Asian side of things, and like how they kind of go about or how they're almost over the top too. Like
the phone call
side of that commentary
is incredible.
Which one?
The one with Tom Cruise and like Matthew McConaughey in the background to the leader of, or is the leader of Flaming Dragon,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that
I
one's
can't
good.
quote it because I don't think we could release this episode if I did. But I don't remember it as well.
Don't
too.
remember it word for
But
word.
I just remember it's full of foul-mouthed slurs, and it's incredible.
Just the ending portion where he's like, "Turn around and fuck your own face." Or even later when he's on the phone with them again, and like they have like full blown like HQ mode. There's people on phones in the background and everything like that, and then they call, they're recording it and everything. And he just tells them to fuck off again, and then he's like, "We don't deal with terrorists," and then everyone like starts clapping in the
background. Do they confirm that it's kind of a Harvey Weinstein ripoff, or take? Is that what he's?
Ooh, I didn't know.
I don't know.
I feel like he might supposed to be kind of Weinstein-esque figure. Obviously, not the weird parts or the illegal parts, but yeah,
right.
It's kind of how he ran the studio.
Bill Hader as like that assistant, hilarious.
Early Bill Hader too. I feel like this is one of the first times I mean,
he's
remember
on SNL at this
him.
point, right?
Is he?
Maybe in a movie. Yeah, at this point he's
07?
got to be on SNL. Yeah, I think so.
It's
close to it.
You're probably right. I feel like you have a better grasp on this than I do.
2005 is his first feature.
Okay.
Yeah. So right in kind of his rise, I should say.
Brandon T. Jackson, I think, is great in this as Al Pacino as well too.
Hilarious that his name is Al Pacino.
Amazing.
Alpa
but it's Alpa. Yeah,
Alpa.
Yeah, Alpa.
Like awesome.
You know.
But no, he is good. Definitely an underrated part because he's not like
he's playing a character, but it's a character that's relatively reasonable in this world.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like he's not a crazy. Yeah, he's not crazy. Obviously, he's got the booty sweat, but like he's just kind of like a rapper. Obviously, kind of.
Yeah, he's someone who has earned his money via good business decisions, rather than like someone who thinks they're a massive artist the way the others seem to.
The Lance bit is good too.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. And then in the end of the movie, you see,
you see him. Yeah, that's a good bit. Again, not something you see coming, considering the movie opens with him dancing on two girls, and having a drink called Booty Sweat. Yeah.
What did Ben Stiller know? Did he know about Diddy?
Probably.
In 2007.
I mean, probably,
but allegedly. Let's say allegedly.
Is it?
Anyways, smells like bologna.
I was gonna say the whole time they're in the forest and they're actually trying, like they're like when Damien blows up is
incredible,
fucking incredible.
As a viewer, that was the first time when I was watching. I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, you genuinely don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you're so far into this movie, you're now also thinking with them. You're like, maybe this is part of the movie. Maybe is this real?
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know. And then he's got the head on the gun. He's like, I'm Damien Rodman. He fucking like puts his finger in there. He's like, it's all show, guys. Taste it. He's like, it's corn syrup.
Warm
blood flavored corn syrup.
It's so funny.
And then they start getting fucking shot at. And then they shoot back and they all have fake bullets. They're all just shooting blanks, which is fucking hilarious. And then of course the grenade goes off. The C4 is already planted there by Danny McBride. And it just so conveniently works. And then you have everybody's, just the power dynamic struggle between Robert Downey Jr. and Tug Speedman. And then you also have, Jack Black going through heroin withdrawals the entire time. He needs just Skittles to the point where he's going to eat a fucking bat.
Incredible.
Yeah. And then the one of the other like funniest things that we always that most people forget about is when they're actually walking and Jay's talking about Blu-ray and then
versus HD DVD.
Awesome.
And Robert Downey Jr. is like, "You've been talking to me this whole time, shit, man." It's just like you're like.
I think about that quote
to anybody that was
so
listening,
often.
really.
That is a great bit.
When he's like, "We're lost, we're fucking lost," and he like takes the map from him.
Yeah,
The baloney thing is always super quotable.
I remember watching it like the first time. I don't think I've laughed harder at a line than "I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker."
Dude, I was just about to bring that up. Amazing.
It's incredible. The delivery, everything about it, the moment,
the lead up to
it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite bits of the whole movie. I'm sorry, I interrupted you though, Ty.
No, I mean, by all means, everybody bring up, whatever quotables you find. I like when Robert Downey Jr. is trying to talk more about his background, and he's like, "I used to be a saucier in San Antone." And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, how deep does this go, dude?
We had a kid on our baseball team, and in high school, and one time we were in between a doubleheader on a Saturday. It was like a tournament kind of thing where we were playing for extra practice, extra games. And I don't know how it like emerged, but he had a tennis racket, and he was laying there. His name is Brian. He was laying on a back of on his bag, kind of like hanging out. We were in between games, just lounging. A couple of us started just kind of chucking small rocks at him, and he started trying to swat at them with the tennis racket, and all of the rocks were small enough that they would pass through the weavings of the tennis racket.
Sure.
And one of our Nick, shout out Nick, best friend of the podcast, his dad, Craig, just looks at him and goes, "Fucking simple Brian, man." swinging at butterflies with mallets. And I will think about that for the rest of my life. Chasing butterflies with hammers.
I actually thought that was like probably one of the funniest things that they could have done is they reintegrated the Simple Jack storyline into the fact that village is like it's the only movie they've ever seen and it's their favorite one. So he's like just the most famous person because of that movie.
How many of us have that movie from our childhood that is just dog shit, but we love it because we just watched it a million times, right? Nostalgia. And it was the one that you had around that you could put on and and just to have that tie into it's great. Chef's kiss, no notes.
I do want to know. Go ahead, Adam.
I was just gonna say the Simple Jack stuff goes a little bit further than maybe the blackface does and doesn't maybe hold up quite as well and isn't as smart. Outside of like the redacted bit that we talked about already, it's still funny, but it's like, I don't know, definitely not still another thing that you definitely couldn't do today.
Do your head movies make your eyes rain?
Sometimes.
I also love that his agent Matthew McConaughey makes him say it at the end of like all their conversations, even though it's his worst movie on record.
100%.
Well, if you notice, also he's got a Simple Jack like cardboard cutout poster in the corner of his office, and I think it moves. Does it move? Am I imagining things? I think it's got like some motion to it.
It's got red eyes like the Globo Gem cutout in Dodgeball.
Ugh. What were you gonna say, Blake?
Yeah, really quick. I was gonna say I'm over here looking at Letterboxd reviews, which are sometimes obviously hilarious. And to Nathaniel's point earlier, I believe it was Nathaniel's point, or potentially Tyler, but of Robert Downey Jr. like being elected for awards. for this Academy Award. And somebody was like, what's really, obviously, rest in peace to Heath Ledger, of course, legend.
Of course.
But somebody was like, all things considered, if Heath Ledger doesn't pass away, right, do we get a Robert Downey Jr. award for being in blackface? And yeah, man, I don't know. Who knows? Shout out this person, though. That goes to Viking on Letterboxd. Shout out Viking.
Did this movie get Oscar noms?
It wasn't Oscar. It was definitely Golden Globe, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was Oscar.
Too good for this movie. I'm so
maybe
sick
he
of
did. Maybe
Oscars,
he
dude.
did get a supporting actor. I mean, check it up.
He might. I'm trying to find out, but I'm so sick of the Oscars, dude. They suck now.
Bro, they
arguably always have.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the year that what was it, Coda won or something? That was the year that like broke me. I was just like, nah, the Oscars just don't matter anymore.
Don't.
Rigged.
It's not even. It's just dumb. Just old people that don't even know what they do. They don't see all the movies, so they just vote and they just vote for like whatever the thing. There's actual statistics that if you look at the Oscars alphabetically versus the numbers of voting for them, you'll find like people just read like the first 2, 3 and then just vote for those. Like if your movie starts with anything past maybe F, you're in a tough spot in Oscar voting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, put your money on a Nora this year then, folks.
Seriously.
RDJ did get a supporting actor nom for this role.
From the Oscars.
Which is from the Oscars.
Incredible.
Best performance by an actor in a supporting role, Robert Downey.
So incredible.
That's amazing.
I mean, he's good. Is he Oscars good in this? Like,
I think so.
Yeah? Would you go him or Tom Cruise?
I don't know. Probably RDJ.
I think you gotta go RDJ just for the sole fact that he's in it more.
Yeah. Tom Cruise though,
and for the fact that he ultimately, like for lack of a better term, he ultimately had the balls to take on this role.
For sure.
Like
true.
Being a white man and taking on the role of being a character in blackface. Right? I don't know the nuances of who all got this script, but you could imagine. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. was kind of the first bet. Right? But I'm sure there were some people who opened this at the time and was like, that's funny, but no fucking way I'm doing that.
Ben Stiller's like, I know who I could get.
You know, I was thinking about that though. It's like if RDJ doesn't do this role, it's hard to say like no one else could and like imagine who else could, because I'm sure somebody would have picked it up and probably done
Tobey Maguire.
Well, but
can you imagine?
It's
absolutely no way. Absolutely no way.
But it's just like it is hard to imagine anyone else doing this role now that you see RDJ do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Blackson is just hilarious.
It
takes it even to another level.
It's all
committed.
It's all well done. It's just like it's good enough where it's like, wow, it's kind of convincing, but it's not all the way there where you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It strikes the perfect medium. I don't know.
The best part is like you can't quote any of his lines without trying to replicate the accent.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so it's like, it's just it adds that other it
you
adds
start
such a level to
participating.
his character that you do it too. Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is peak cinema.
That
is what we call peak cinema.
Yeah.
There.
It's reached inside us. It's drawn something out of us as a viewer.
Oh my god.
Is Tropic Thunder the most emotionally affecting movie of 2007? Find out here, folks.
Let's find out where it ranks, shall we?
Or did we did favorite scenes?
We haven't, but we can really quick. Just starting to run a little long in time, but I'm happy to go over favorite scenes. This is we're good. It's not like we're not pressed for time.
I think one sticks out for me, Matthew McConaughey when he's on the phone with Ben Stiller after he's killed the panda.
The panda scene and that whole sequence.
Oh man, they don't have names. It's probably not even her real name.
Yeah. Oh my god, you've killed a hooker. Okay, you're gonna need bleach. I've killed the thing I love most in this world.
Yeah. He's like, Rhonda, get off the line.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious, dude.
Amanda, come on, man. That's probably not even her real name.
Well, also just the reveal that it's a panda that he just killed, and he's got like flashbacks to him cuddling with the baby panda. It's awesome. And then he puts the head on.
Other shout out is the moment where he flings the child off of his shoulders, off of a bridge.
Oh, we never even mentioned half squat.
A doll, but like just
it's the best.
Incredible things ever.
It's like eats his ass.
It's so perfect because like that's what they used to do
100%.
in movies.
Yeah,
and it is so good.
Frankly, we still should.
100%.
I think we should bring it back.
Yeah, it's the same kind of humor when like the game or like Call of Duty or whatever you're playing, Marvel Rival, whatever, when like their bodies just completely ragdoll and like fly across the map. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, those are my two. Killing the panda and just yeeting the kid off the bridge.
I think one of my like most forgettable scenes is where the leader makes him put the old lady's dentures in to make him look more like Simple Jack. It's like one of those things that's like so disgustingly like visceral, but like you've now turned into the point in the movie where Ben Stiller is like, this is not the fucking movie anymore. Yeah. Like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at or how I got here, but this is not it. And so like you're coming to that realization, and that fight or flight, just kicks in, and he's like, I have to put this lady's fucking teeth in my mouth, dude. Like, or like towards the end, where they find him in his little room and they're having like this discussion, and he's like, no, you can't stay here. He's like, I have a family now, like it's okay.
Yeah. I've got a second chance.
I don't know if it's not necessarily like my favorite scene, but definitely like an underrated RDJ line in this one is when he's trying to snap Ben Stiller out of his like funk when they find him captured, and they like walk in, they're like, what are you guys doing? He goes, he's lost. It happened to me once back in '98. They found me in an alley in Burbank trying to re-enter Earth's stratosphere in an old refrigerator box. I'm like, oh my God. Hilarious. That whole bit is really, that whole like back and forth bit is really funny, but that line got me, dude. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
It's a special movie, man.
Blake, did you have any favorite ones, or did you already say yours?
Oh, I mean, I feel like we've kind of touched on them earlier. The you never go full is funny. The scene between Robert Downey Jr. and the Brandon T. Jackson character, where he's like, that word's been holding our people down for years.
For sure.
That's absolutely hilarious to me too.
It's up there,
because I know people like that in real life, right? Who have that stance. On certain, maybe not in that word, but on certain words, right?
Sure,
of course.
For sure.
But yeah, man. So it's funny, dude. It's funny. I don't know. Too many to ultimately pinpoint.
And there will continue to be plenty.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch this movie.
I mean, anytime you end with Tom Cruise dancing to
dude, yeah, we got
red light district.
Yeah. Him dancing at the end is actually one of my favorite parts.
Shorty got low.
Fucking ludicrous.
It's just so funny, like, because I would never picture Tom Cruise dancing like that, but he owns.
I don't know
so
how.
Well when
I don't know
how
they got him to do it. Like, I don't genuinely either. Like I'm confused. The only thing I could think of is they were like, Tom Cruise, king of movies. Back in the 50s, occasionally A-stream actors would do B-stream movies, and they would the comedy actors would go for it, and we're gonna put you in the makeup, and you're just gonna do your thing.
People are gonna know that it's not you, so we want you to not be
dude,
you.
Like, oh man.
It is cool when you do change somebody's kind of complete look, but like keep them on screen for so long. So not like Skarsgård and like Nosferatu, like you just don't know it's him, period.
Sure.
Whereas like this, they've changed the character so much, you don't know it's him immediately until you sit there and you look at him, but he's on screen so much. You're like, who the fuck is that?
I can tell it's someone. I can tell they're in makeup. Like, for sure. Who is this person? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Same thing with Penguin.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even know that it's him.
Or I would say even people in like the Lord of the Rings movies as well too. Some
for
of those
sure,
ones
100%.
under the makeup where you're just like
the dwarfs and everything.
Yeah, you're just like I can tell from their body language and their acting sometimes that like I know this person, but like I can't see them through the makeup kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. Also, shout out the moment where he's like, "Who's the grip? Where's the grip?"
Dude,
here?
I was just about to. That was the next thing I was gonna say. Was the introduction to his character? Who's the grip? Punch that man in the face.
Because
and it's just the hardest.
But also, if you've ever been in any film production, the grips are always huge, like because they're the dudes that have to hold up the lights and shit. Like, it's hilarious.
Dude,
it's so good. Who's key grip?
Just who's key grip? Punch that guy in the face.
You can already tell his hand's like the size of fucking Texas, and you're like, oh no,
just a
dude.
Trash can lid for a hand.
Punch him in the fucking face really hard.
So good.
Yeah. Or the Kirk Lazarus line where he's like, "You guys all read the script, right?" And he's like, "I don't read the script." Yeah, script reads me. like that's always classic too. So yeah, dude, this shit is gold, man. This is comedy gold. This is my most watch, like I guess you could say modern quote unquote comedy. It's either this or Superbad, and then like it's a massive drop off for the third movie.
It's definitely Superbad for me. I feel like Tropic Thunder was there. Weirdly, Zach and Miri Make a Porno was one because my friend had it on his iPod Nano, and we just watched it a ton of times. Yeah,
that's funny. An odd like maybe like fourth or fifth ball for me is like potentially Knocked Up,
or Blades of Glory is one that I saw a ton as well too.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell.
Oh,
John
yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Step Brothers is huge for me.
Step Brothers is
dude. So huge. Like that's funny. Like don't get me wrong. It is absolutely funny. I just don't think I've watched it enough to like compared to most people. I think most people are like I've watched that. How I've watched Superbad, Tropic Thunder, things of that nature. And I think Step Brothers
Pineapple
for me
Express was like
maybe
the other
maybe
one.
4 watches. Step Brothers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Step Brothers is top tier for me. Pineapple Express is another one of those that like sneaks by a lot of people. Yeah. I will say though, it's funny that you bring that movie up because before Leah and I were kind of talking about this movie in general, she was just like, would you consider this like a stupid stoner movie? And I was like, no. I really wouldn't. I was like, first of all, I think if it's going to be qualified under a stoner movie, there has to be some kind of marijuana use in the movie for it to be a genuine, like, quote unquote stoner movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm like the comedy in this, I think, is just so much smarter than what those ones are intentionally trying to be.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I would not put that in this category at all. But yeah, Pineapple Express is very high. No pun intended. Yeah, Superbad's pretty high up there as well.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Definitely watched a ton.
Yeah, I guess, Then that. How did that end up on the pod first? Like out of every other comedy movie, was that?
I feel like I chose that at some point. Maybe that might have been me.
I don't know who chose it.
White Chicks used to be on there all the time for me.
Yeah, that is up there as well.
So I've never seen White Chicks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was one that just straight up passed me by.
Oh man, Adam,
have you seen White Chicks movie? There's no shot.
Man, we may
Dude,
ironically,
Yeah,
we
go
may
the
have to throw that up there
opposite
for
Bro, if we're going like
exactly,
back there,
ironically, the complete opposite of Robert Downey Jr. and blackface.
yeah, right.
It's the Wayans brothers, right?
If we're going back there, maybe this like if 2025 is the year of comedy for the pod, maybe come October we do the scary movie marathon.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm down.
With us, and to Tyler's point, just with bringing that up, we may have to throw white chicks on. No pun intended, and very ironic. We may have to throw white chicks on there for Black History Month. All jokes aside.
Let's do it. Nothing better than 3 white guys.
Yeah, right.
Celebrating Black History Month, watching white chicks.
That's a gym.
All right, let's rank it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Run it.
All right. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and throw Tropic Thunder up upon our Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed, regardless of all ranked on a list together, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else. It's essentially how we rate our movies rather than do it at 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review and see how they compare to one another. If you want to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking that episode description where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
This is going to be interesting. We have
entry 219.
We have so few comedies.
We do.
And so it's hard to almost like compare it to some other things that we have on the list here. And like
It is. This is where I think like replay value in the back of your head is going to become something that's very prevalent, because you're going to start to group it with other categories that you see patterns in. So I think rewatchability is going to come up a little bit in this.
Where's Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Way down.
I'm scrolling and I don't see it. Okay,
It's
179. Yeah, I mean, for starters, fellas, I'm definitely going above Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Well,
yeah, for sure.
It's an easy floor. I'm going pretty high, dude.
This is tough.
I think I might have a spot.
Adam's like 4, dude.
Mutant Man at 113. That's like okay.
I think I might have a spot.
Run it.
What are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go 52.
Wow.
Let's
all right,
go.
52, below Kill Bill, above Training Day. Not
That's
a bad
right.
spot
Okay.
at all.
So
Yeah,
below
Not a
Kill
bad spot at
Bill,
all.
above Training Day. So like if I'm talking about like movies that I would consider like in that same realm. So like if I'm thinking comedy, I would think Tropic Thunder is like a top tier comedy from like past 20, 25 years, right?
For sure.
And that's where if I'm talking about action movies, Kill Bill, probably top 10 movie action movies of the last 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Training Day, I mean, change the genre, right? Like that's our quintessential Denzel performance in a lot of ways, right? Puts him on the map, puts him into that rarefied air. Requiem, man, I'm like, I would enjoy this more than watching Requiem again, but like there's also an element of like, craftedness and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's better than Northman. I think it's better than Alien Romulus. Obviously, E2 Mama Tambien's a hard buffer for me, but even then, like Godzilla -1, Judas and the Black Messiah is a little bit take it or leave it. But Starship Troopers, yeah, we're into heavy hitters at that point. I think 52 below Kill Bill, above Training Day is a good spot for me.
That's fair.
Okay, yeah,
this
Blake,
is tough.
if you're feeling
anybody
it,
else know where they want to go?
or Tyler,
I'm struggling right now.
Adam,
Bueller? I'll be kind of in your same ballpark. I'm going to be a little bit lower, only because there is things like Spirited Away that also hold like a huge spot for me. But yeah, I mean, I think you're on the right track. Obviously, being in like the top half of this list is, you're a pretty good movie.
Sure.
So yeah, this being one of the top tier comedies that we've done from whatever you want to look at it. Like if you're looking at it from like how funny this movie is, like fucking top tier. If you're talking about like how smart the humor is in this movie, again, like top tier. And then just the movie, the whole thing in general of, about it being satire, about it making, about making a movie, like it's just fucking smart. And so yeah, it's gonna be one of those ones that is a top tier comedy for sure, for a lot of different reasons, not for just making people laugh. So yeah, I actually really do have a very special place in my heart for Romulus. I love Alien. It like just, it just makes me want to curl up into a little ball and just watch those movies all day long.
And gestate inside another person and then burst out of them.
100%. And wish that like X-ray flashlights were a real thing.
Ayo.
Yeah, that scene is awesome. That movie,
it's so good. But yeah, I think you're on the right track.
Any flashlight is an X-ray flashlight if it's bright enough.
That's technically true. Don't act like you're not a kid who put a flashlight up to his hand.
100%.
Why the red?
I would argue that scene's probably based off of that. For like,
100%. But yeah, I'll go right below Spirited Away, above It Follows at 56.
Good placement. I like this movie. I think I'm a little lower than you all. It's certainly going to be much higher than Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Excuse me. I think kind of where I'm going, and I'm seeing like some hard stops where this does have the nostalgia factor to it, and it is to Nathaniel's point, one of the top tier comedies of its time, which passing the test of time in comedy is one of the tallest tasks a movie can have, right? But I think where like I'm ultimately hard capping this thing, I think Scream is my hard cap at 67. I think that's a personal gatekeeper for myself. Obviously monumental in the horror genre. So then I'm kind of like bouncing around the 68 to 70, mid 70 range. And I think I'm ultimately going to go below Boys in the Hood, above Barbie. So I think I'm ultimately going to go 74.
I heard the Boys in the Hood are always hard. Come talking that trash.
So yeah, for
that's where I'm going.
Where were
you?
In
the Hood, below American Psycho, below Nightcrawler. All three objectively good.
Ooh, yeah. I'm with you.
56.
So we got a 56 of 52, right? 53,
yeah.
Nathaniel? 52?
52, 53, I think. Let's pull it back here. Hold on, folks. 52, yeah.
Okay, and then I got a 74. So,
Adam
the world is in your hands right now, brother.
How are you feeling?
I think I have... I'm honestly, like, I think you guys are a little low here, and I'm trying to figure out if it's maybe just because I'm like a first watch on this and that it's so fresh and new for me that I'm enjoying it that much more, because maybe, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th watch on this, whatever you guys are at, it just doesn't have that same effect on you. And I think I'm going to ride the wave of like defending this movie on the front of a first watch and it being fresh and
brother.
like having that fresh perspective, So I'm gonna give this a little boost here. I think I'm gonna kick it all the way up. I'm having trouble I know the range I want to be at, but I'm trying to find a good place for it within that range. And I think I'll have to land it. I'll land it at 46, below Starship Troopers and above Judas.
Ooh,
I
like
Judas and the Black Messiah. Just, I feel like that's a safe spot for me, so I don't boost it too high here, but I definitely want to give it its flowers, man. Like, this is a really well-made movie overall. Rewatchability is obviously there. I think this will settle and eventually hold the test of time, even though some people might disagree with that at this point. But I do think this movie is pretty well made, and does have the chops to be one of the best comedies that we have. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it.
You know what it needs to do?
What's that?
Survive.
Yeah.
Hope y'all like hamburger meat.
That gives us, ladies and gentlemen, an average ranking of 57, meaning we tiebreak it with Spider-Man No Way Home. We don't even have to do that poll. I know where you guys stand, so we'll put it at 57. Below It Follows and above Spider-Man No Way Home. We cool? We can save all of ours some time. We don't have to go over the, oh, would you put it above Spider-Man No Way Home? I get it, Blake. You don't like it. All right.
I'll stand up for Blake. I don't like it either.
All right. Well, I love it, and you guys can F off because Tobey Maguire is awesome. And
I agree with that.
It's great in Tropic Thunder.
Awesome. Yeah. I
loved
agree
him in
that.
Satan's Alley.
Yeah. That's my takeaway from everything you said, Adam, is I do agree Tobey Maguire is awesome.
Well, thank you. I agree. One bit, and I know not a huge spoiler or anything, but one bit that we forgot to talk about is at the end of the movie, Tobey Maguire is nominated for Best Actor for Satan's Alley on the Oscar board. It's awesome.
Best Kiss Award.
Yeah, MTV's Best Kiss.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for our review segment here on this episode. Next episode's review, we'll be covering a movie called Bad Boys that is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. So go check that out. Gonna be a first watch for me. I don't think a first watch for anyone else though. Yeah,
I don't think I've seen the beginning of it.
Okay. I don't know how that happens, but okay.
Well, when you grow up watching the TV, sometimes you
no
get
TiVo back then, huh?
Yeah, no TiVo, no TiVo for Tugger Nuts. So I couldn't. I couldn't rewind the movie after I started it.
Noted. But yeah, check out Bad Boys, stream on Amazon Prime, and then you can join us for our review of that next week. We're running a little long on time here, boys. Do we have any what we're watching that we want to mention? Quick?
I've got a what we're watching that I want to mention.
Yes.
Sumo.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, it's back.
Sumo.
Where are you streaming / watching this?
YouTube.
You're just looking up sumo highlights, or you're looking up full matches, or is it live streamed?
So, all right, give me a minute.
Unpack here.
And I will unpack for you.
You just added 45 minutes.
I'll cut.
Sumo is the best. It's the best big man sport. I'll say that right now. If you're over 6 foot and you're over 200 pounds, get into sumo. It's the best. I watch it on YouTube. I watch it. It's NHK highlights whenever the Basho is going, and it will give you day-by-day highlights. They are 20 minutes. You get probably 10 to 15 bouts in those 20 minutes. They all last like 30 seconds. It's the best. It's literally the top 15 dudes in the sport fighting everyone for 15 days straight. So it's 7 days, 7 days. And the goal is to try and basically make 8-7. You want to be 8-7. That's Makikochi. That is the best thing. You have got a winning record.
This is deep.
Everyone is ranked. As soon as you're a professional, your record is your record. You don't get to start over. Whatever it is, and you fight everyone in your division over 15 days. Whoever's got the best record moves up. Whoever's got the worst record moves down. And that's it. It's every 2 months. I'm telling you, it's the best. I'm a sumo guy now. We have a new Yokozuna. Yokozuna is the only guy that can lose in a tournament and not move down. He is currently the top guy. To capture Yokozuna status, you have to win 33 bouts over 3 tournaments without having a losing record at any point. So you have to be like 10-5, 10-5, 10-5, 10-5, 10-5, 11-3 or something like that. Yeah, it's really hard. But everyone is like 6'5" and like 240 pounds. They're all athletic. Like, you think it's just big dudes like slapping into each other, but they're throwing, they're striking. it's the best. I'm in on sumo.
All right.
Sumo's the best.
I'll vouch. It is pretty cool.
So I'm sorry, I want to go back on that. Did you say, so are the requirements for that just 6'200"? That seems a little light in the sumo.
No. Like,
right? Or am I?
So Blake, there is no weight limit. There's no weight classes. So you can be 5'2" and be up there as long as you're winning. It doesn't matter.
That sounds dangerous.
So you have guys that are
right?
like 6'5", 320 versus guys that are like 5'8", 240. Like it's crazy. That's why I'm saying like it like as a big man sport, it is the perfect sport. Like because they don't like how many linemen all they do is thrust for or push off for 10 minutes or 10 seconds, right? Like it's all you need for there. It's O linemen throwing against each other and trying to throw themselves out of a ring. It's great. If you like football, you'll like sumo. I'm getting everyone on board. 2025 is the year of sumo. Round up everyone. NHK highlights.
I mean, I could get behind it.
This
does require like next time I have a free night, Nathaniel, I'll text you and I'll come over and we can watch some sumo and you can kind of just introduce me to your faves.
I've only been watching for like a little bit of time. It's very easy to get into. Tyler can vouch. Like he's been here at certain times and like you think it's dumb until you watch it and you're like, oh no, this is very interesting. And I think it's a low barrier of entry because the matches are so short.
I believe you.
Agreed.
I'll try it out.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Anytime you want to come over, we can watch sumo.
All right, tomorrow.
Do it.
All right, noted. I saw The Brutalist in theaters.
Did you? Okay.
On Monday. I wanted that experience because I keep won a bunch of awards, the Golden Globes. People were talking about it. Finally got limited release, and I was like, this seems like it'd be like a fun movie going experience. Intermissions are relatively rare on the theater side of things. I think the only other movie I've seen with an intermission is The Hateful Eight.
Sure.
You could argue Killers of the Flower Moon probably should have had one, but it did not.
I don't think so, but
it could have. I wouldn't say that I don't know if it should have, but it could have. It's that length. We don't have to get into that discussion. I love that movie, and I think it's well edited and all that stuff. But Brutalist, good, not great, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Definitely for me, the ending falls a little flat, and it's slightly anticlimactic, and that's an issue when there's a 3.5 hour buildup to that said ending. I don't know if I've talked to a couple other people that have felt the same way. I'm sure that might not be a popular opinion. Apparently it's not because it's obviously winning all the awards. But the movie does look great. Performances are great. And it is an interesting story. It does, you're invested, but it's not, it's slightly Oscar baity-ish.
Oh, okay.
Slightly, I would say, where it's like, cinephiles are going to love this movie. And they do apparently. I like it.
Over under the substance.
I mean, of overall enjoyment, under, but movie quality, maybe not. Maybe it's probably over in terms of like the actual filmmaking, and in the film artistry sense of the
but
is everything.
Is that just because there's more, or is it just because?
No, it's really well made. I will say that. It does look good. Set pieces and costume design and all that. And is it Andrew Brody or Anthony Brody? What is his name?
Adrian Brody.
Oh, yeah, I was close.
Adrian Brody's our boy. We like Adrian Brody.
No, he's incredible. He's incredible in this movie. He is very, very good. Deserving of awards. I don't know who he's up against in Best Actor, but he'll probably win it, and pretty deservingly so. He's very good in this movie.
Even if it's Timmy C?
Yes. Yeah, he is better than Timmy C.
Damn, okay.
So Timmy C can, I'm sorry. He's gonna be the next Leo, man. He's just gonna get snubbed.
Best supporting.
Maybe
for his role
one day
as the main character.
Yeah, right.
Dune.
Shut up. All right, I'm so sick of you.
Yeah, I'm the problem because I brought up Dune 2 twice.
You are the problem. You're in the minority. All right, everyone I know.
No, Blake's on my side on this.
No, he's not. He just hasn't watched it in a while. That's a fixable problem.
I gotta. I'll get to it again. I'm sure I will.
I'm claiming Blake
tomorrow.
I'm
Blake,
infecting.
Tomorrow.
I'm infecting Tyler. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Every time you turn on Dune 2, it's gonna play Undercover Brother instead.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
I put in Dune 2 hard copy one day and it just
Undercover Brother.
Anyway, Brutalist, good, not great. Probably going to win some Oscars. Well made. Worth seeing when coming to streaming. Not even that you could really have much of a chance to see it anyway because there's not limited theater runs at this point. But yeah, I mean, worth watching at home. But I don't think you really need to rush out to see it. And then shout out the guy who was a row behind me, and not directly, but shout out him who was coughing throughout the whole movie, just coughing. And it's like, maybe if you can't go more than 10 minutes without coughing, don't go to a 4-hour movie.
Do you think?
Just a thought. Just a simple thought.
Do you think this
and
might
also
have affected your review?
one extra thing to be a yes, but no.
Okay.
Yes, but no. Like, yeah, that was a small thing, but like, I obviously I'm separating that as much as I can from the movie. But the same two guys, one of them was coughing. The same two guys left their cups in the cup holders of their seats. So real bad people, that we don't do that around here. I don't support that.
Personally, support them being taken out back and shot in the head.
I thought you were gonna say you support them leaving their trash behind, but. Thank you for making. Thank you. I'm glad we can agree, Nathaniel. I'm glad we can agree that that is despicable behavior. So between those two things, I was really upset with them. Because I booked my tickets. We'll end after this. I know we're running long, but I booked my tickets earlier that day, and when I did, this was maybe around 9 or 9:30 in the morning. I was the only one in the theater, and I was really excited. I was like, this would be awesome if I just could get the whole theater myself. And lo and behold, I checked towards like mid-afternoon, like around 1 or 2. There was one other seat taken at the very back of the theater. I picked the middle, as an experienced A-lister does. Pick the middle. But then there was someone in the very last row middle, and I was like, amateur move. And then by the time I showed up, there was like maybe 6 other people in the theater. So it was a little disappointing, but either way. That's it. Anyone, Ty, Blake, do you guys have what we're watching? Or
no.
You guys good for this week?
The only thing I've got to, and I meant to say I got to it, I want to say it was the last recording, but I didn't get a chance to bring it up. I did watch Zone of Interest.
Oh,
which,
interesting.
If anyone knows what that is, yeah, it was an A24 movie. I want to say last fall.
Yeah.
And
they got a lot of Oscar buzz last year, right?
Yeah, and it revolves around
a family that's
family that lives right off of a concentration camp, right?
Yeah,
so it involves Germans and Polish people as well. But yeah, very, very good movie. Very bleak, very, very bleak, right? And kind of just tells a story of it. It doesn't take the plan you would think a film like this would go about. In terms of like showing the concentration camp and showing all the horrible things they happen to do,
kind of goes out of its way not to show it. Kind of
right? You just hear it, you just hear like background noise, right? It's like people will be having conversations of like, oh, like how was your day going? Very casual, and you would just hear like gunshots and fire, and people burning and things of that nature. It's crazy, and this goes on to show kind of just how regular that was to the people who lived by it. But yeah, so I did get to that excellent movie. I would recommend for anyone. It's got a huge message. But that is the one film I got to that I wanted to chat about. And yeah, that's really it. I would highly recommend that for anybody in this pod. I think you guys would all get a good kick up. That's
definitely one I think we could probably do on pod at some point.
For sure. Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah, that sounds like a really interesting take on that.
No, I genuinely have been coming home and playing Marvel Rivals until Leah gets home, and then we make dinner, and then I've been good about going up and reading. So we're so we haven't been watching.
I heard you got another book today.
I did yesterday.
Or yesterday.
Yep. So I knew that we were gonna get Mickey 17 on here at some point, and the book is Mickey 7. So I wanted to read it before we watch it.
Gotcha.
Well, gang, another one in the books.
222.
222.
22.
Yes,
Club
sir.
222 down in St. Charles.
What is that?
It's a pub down in St. Charles.
Nathaniel's local strip club him and Waz go to.
Imagine.
They all know me there. Get your discount code 1223 thong. Thong.
Where are we?
Those
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta get out of
Those
here.
are the only people that still call him the Nizza.
Yeah.
we got to go. All right. Thank you all for listening to this episode. Make sure you do share the podcast, share with a friend, a family member, maybe an actor friend that you know who's maybe a little too intense. You know,
Maybe
we all got one of those.
He's worried about his Skittles.
Maybe he is worried about his skills. Maybe he's worried about other things. While you're doing that, share the podcast or follow the podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube is just Back Row Banter. You can go subscribe to us there, even if it's not your primary place of listening. And then our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com in case you want to send us an email. We'll read it out here on the podcast. Same thing with 5-star review. I don't know if we have a new one of those.
Not
we
yet.
had one recently. But if you want to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts,
Or if you
I haven't
wanna,
taken a look at Spotify, but we can. You can do either of those, and we'll read out your review live on Pod too. I'll kick us. What'd you say?
I said if you want to review the Back Row Banter drinking game, you can do that.
There you go.
In Apple
Yeah, you can do
Podcast
that.
review.
You could definitely do that. I'll go first with plugs. You can find me on Twitter at H24 and on Letterboxd at H. I've been doing good with Letterboxd, at least ratings, and not necessarily leaving reviews, but I'm leaving ratings so you can at least catch up with and keep up with what I watch as I watch it. So yeah, that's HAYYSH. Who's next here, fellas? We got Tyler. Why don't you give us your plugs over there, man?
You can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES, and yeah, that's it. Nathaniel.
Yo, you can find me on Instagram and Letterboxd. That's at NS Gingrich and Nathaniel G92. Been reviewing books on Instagram, been reviewing movies on Letterboxd, and Twitter, not X, at NS Gingrich. Blake, where you at?
Yes, sir. Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. Rating things out of 5 stars. Instagram, excuse me, lost train of thought. Instagram, Mr. Watercoolers. PSN, Xbox Live, Mr. Watercoolers. Yeah, we'll keep it brief there, and then that's it. Am I last?
You are, sir.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for Bad Boys. We'll kick off some Black History Month joints here going on, and we'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Yeah, the guy slid a piece of paper over to Tyler and said, "There's a big number under there. Flip it whenever you're ready."
I can't wait for that to happen. Is that how salary negotiations go?
What is it in Moneyball? Like he just says something along those lines. Like hands him the slip of paper. And he's like,
I know. I
"You can
don't
make it
know
go bigger."
that one.
Man, you guys not Moneyball heads? Moneyball slaps.
Nah.
Oh, are you talking about at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what he says.
Is that? I haven't seen that. Is that like the baseball movie?
Blake, it is a baseball movie, but it is a baseball movie.
Baseball movie.
It's a baseball movie you can enjoy without being a baseball fan. Because all it is about like how they're like winning in a streak. Like you don't have to know positions or like anything like that. And any of the like things that is baseball, they basically explain it to you.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is a very approachable.
It's a perfect movie to
Sports
show
movie.
like non-baseball fans.
Absolutely. Like my girlfriend loved that movie. I mean, loved is
Okay.
relative for her. Like she enjoyed watching it. That's
Right.
But like also an
So-
ultimate guys being dudes movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotcha,
really
yeah.
got it all, man. And it's Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill,
Jonah Hill in a serious role, which is always good.
Chris Pratt.
In a weird, or before
In a
fame,
weird-
before he kind of broke out.
Well, it was like middling. It was like as he was on the come up, kind of. It was like, oh, that's Parks and Rec dude. Is like that's kind of Chris.
Yeah.
Like that was like his level of fame
It's right before
Guardians.
Guardians, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So he's not quite jacked yet. He's still a little chubby, but like you can tell he's like thinning down a little bit. Yeah, it was in between phase.
Yeah, man. So I haven't seen that one. Oddly enough, I always get that confused with and I don't know, maybe Tyler's seen this. I'm sure probably Nathaniel. I always get that confused with Monsters Ball.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
The Halle Berry
different movie.
Billy-
And that movie
Billy
is
Bob
famous for
Thornton.
one specific scene.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's the movie
Yeah.
I always think. But I'm like, there's no way
Not quite the
them
same.
at
See,
all.
I always get Monsters Ball confused with Hardball, the Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah. With
coaches.
Keanu Reeves and RPG baby. Right?
Yeah.
You baby.
That's a classic, dude. I haven't seen that movie in so long, but that's a movie I saw so many times growing up.
Yeah,
I
100%.
watched it last time I was like mega sick.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of put it on for background noise.
It's just a classic
Yeah,
feel
absolutely.
good movie for me, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Adam, have you seen Monsters Ball or Hardball?
I believe so. No. Monsters Ball. 2000.
Yeah, I think there's an S. I think it's Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
Halle Berry. I see.
Yeah. And who else is in that? Is that
Billy
is that
Bob.
Billy Bob Thornton?
Billy
Yeah.
Bob.
Wow.
Dude, you know the kind of sack you got to have your name be Billy Bob Thornton? Like,
Have you ever seen Rollerball?
No, I don't think
man.
I've seen that one.
Dude.
Now, hold on.
That's
Hold
the
on.
skating movie, right?
no,
Is that
yeah.
one?
Am I conflating
said
that
it's a
with
what movie?
There's two.
Roll Bounce?
No.
Oh,
That's
I have seen Roll Bounce. though.
yeah, that's
Roll
Roll
Bounce.
Bounce. No,
I'm having to Google all of
is so there's. I think there's a
these. Nick Cannon. Bow Wow. Wait.
no, that's Roller Bounce.
I know. I'm looking all of these up.
Yeah. Roll Bounce is hilarious though. You should watch that just for like the
Man.
Bow Wow
Hey, it's
character.
based in Chicago.
Roll Bounce? That's got to be on Tubi. That is a Tubi
for sure.
movie
Yeah,
through
that's
and
absolutely
through.
Roll Bounce is on Tubi. For sure. Under the like the 2000s black cinema section.
It's on.
Roll
it's
Bounce
on,
is absolutely there.
It's on Stars.
What?
Wild.
Why?
weird.
Why are they paying for that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Rollerball is there's an original from 1975 and then the remake from
Right, I saw the
2002.
remake.
Rollerball.
Are
The
either
remake
good?
is the one that I'm referring to. It's a total like C movie,
Action
like,
sci-fi.
like C plus.
Is that LL Cool J on the on the cover?
Yeah.
I didn't read the names. I just see
Oh
the
my
face.
God, that
right? I'm looking at the
is-
cover from the IMDb thing.
Yeah, dude.
Why
I
does he
don't
have a
remember this
girl
at
in
all.
Picture?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
Get in the game.
It's Chris Klein.
Oh, I do remember
G
this.
Reno, LL
Carla-
Cool J.
Is that Carla Gugino? No.
No, there's
That's Rebecca Romaine. That's Mystique.
Yes.
Jean Reno.
Oh my God.
Dude, this is the
Yeah,
guy
I've-
that directed
I've never
Die
heard
Hard
of
and Predator.
Dude, it's a different one for sure.
All right, next week, Brent pulled up Rollerball. The big thing in
Yeah, let's,
2005
we might have to shortlist that.
is a
I'm
violent
sold.
sport.
Dude, this movie's insane.
Dude, yeah, I kind of do love futuristic sports where someone dies too.
It's
or like
it's
where.
fucking insane, dude.
Speaking of which, we got a new Running Man coming out soon.
I would encourage you not to go crazy. If we are gonna watch it at some point, just go into it completely blind. It's insane.
Rollerball?
Yes.
I'm adding it to the short list as we speak.